It sits on a great lake in the heart of a great city. The views are unmatched, and perhaps that's why some people come here at first. But then they see the names and hopefully take time to hear the stories. I can tell you the stories. These aren't just names to me. They are guys I grew up with in Milwaukee, guys I played with as a kid. They were athletic, nice people with big dreams. One wanted to be a pilot, another a lawyer, but their lives were cut short when they answered the call to serve their country in Vietnam. I was there too, but I was one of the lucky ones who got to come back to Wisconsin. I'm Gary Wetzel. This is the Medal of Honor. I wear it for everybody. I'm just a caretaker. And our stories are here at the War Memorial Center. It's our nation's number one medal. I was trying to save a friend of mine and I got hurt. My fellow veterans and I come to the War Memorial Center to make sure our stories of service and sacrifice are not forgotten.
We are living history. You know, some of the things that you do not learn in the textbooks, you need to talk to a veteran because we've lived it.
What's interesting is a lot of the kids say, "What's a veterinarian?" I said, no, look at that, there's no I in there. I said, a veteran is anybody that served in the military.
They asked me questions, well, how'd you lose your arm? I said, I didn't lose it. If I lost it, I'd still be looking for it.
And this is a great time and opportunity to talk to these young folks about what they've been blessed with and not even know it.
The memorials here are for people with the Purple Heart and also Gold Star families. This is where we remember the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
We used to go in with the Marines.
But it's the connection of civilians to veterans that really makes the impact.
A plane crashed into the side of the Pentagon.
My fellow Army veteran and friend, Sherry Caves, was working at the Pentagon on 9/11 when it was attacked.
They did not understand terrorism and they didn't understand those kind of really deep concepts that we as adults have a hard time grappling with. So they asked me a lot of good questions.
That's a piece of the Pentagon.
Anytime we have the younger generation come in to be interested in what we have to say, it's a beautiful thing. And I have a lot of pictures in here from Vietnam of kids. I told them they're the innocence of war. I said this little guy probably wasn't any older than any of you guys. It's beautiful that they have these programs here that they run at the War Memorial, and it's just fantastic.
I think it's not okay that these stories and what they did is forgotten. And it's important for kids my age and older to start learning about this past in the 1940s, the Second World War, so that they understand what people before us did and sacrificed themselves, their lives, for this beautiful country.
How was your field trip today? Pretty good? We learned a little bit? I'm constantly amazed how young people want to hear our stories.
This is a 1942 mess kit. This is what the soldiers ate out of.
While a hero spends his time as a World War II reenactor,
where did you finally travel to after all of your training?
Brea is spending a year interviewing World War II veterans.
Learning about these battles and just reading it out of the book is nowhere near the same as talking to these veterans and hearing their stories and watching their emotions display on their face. It's unbelievable experience, and it's definitely changed the way I view my life, I view the past, and how I'm going to view the future.
Back during World War II, everyone knew someone who served. These days, less than 1% of Americans join the military.
USA!
Now, more than ever, we need a place like the War Memorial Center to connect us.
Honestly, I could not have written a better script for my life. I could not have imagined the life that I've lived. I have the Army to thank for that.
Many people will look at the United States and say, oh, it's the United States, it's where I live. But when I see the United States, I see this country that was developed by soldiers that went into battle, they fought for their rights, and they gave up their lives to give us this beautiful land.
Get rid of ignorance. And that comes from education and places like this that teach kids and teach the public about what's happened and what's going on, you'll just repeat whatever mistakes you made in the past unless you've learned from them.
If they just appreciate the freedom that they have and the pain and suffering that was absorbed by a lot of military to give that freedom to them.
I liked how we got to go to all different stations and meet like all different kinds of veterans.
Think about all the people who sacrificed their life to help us and give us freedom.
As Wisconsinites, we have a proud history and that we have a proud service to our country. And I think everybody throughout Wisconsin needs to know about the War Memorial and come here.
This jewel of Milwaukee is for all of us. Veterans and civilians, young and old, come here to celebrate. July 3rd fireworks, Vet Fest, or doors open. Or come here to reflect and remember every September 11th or December 7th, Memorial Day or Veterans Day. Because at the War Memorial Center, we believe every day is Veterans Day, and every day we live for our mission since day one. Honor the dead, serve the living.
Thank you, and God bless America.